in Nepal have risen against their government. Initially, it was seen as a protest over banning of social media platforms. The country had banned social media platforms like Facebook, YouTube, WhatsApp, Instagram, and Snapchat, claiming that these platforms hadn't complied with the new registration rules and the deadline for the same. However, the main reason now seems to be corruption in the country. Close to 20 people have lost their lives and over 400 injured in this protest. And the consequences of this has been that the government of Nepal has fallen, with Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli resigning, followed by reports that the President Ramchandra Podel may be next. However, Podel issued a statement saying that the resignation of Oli has been accepted and he has urged all parties to work together to find a peaceful solution. That's not all. He urged the protesters to engage in dialogue and maintain peace in the country. He was joined by army chiefs who are making a rare appeal and called for restraint and urged the protesters to prevent further loss of lives. This call for peace was on the back of violent protests that led to protesters storming the residence of several prominent politicians, including the president's office and also the office of the country's largest party, Nepali Congress, and the parliament. Meanwhile, some politicians, like Nepal's finance minister, couldn't save himself from the anger of protesters. As a viral video suggests, he was chased by an angry mob. We cannot independently verify the authenticity of these pictures. Meanwhile, most flights to Nepal have been cancelled and many diverted. Many Indian airlines have issued a statement saying flights to Nepal have been cancelled. Further, India has asked citizens to exercise caution and avoid travelling to Nepal. What's next for Nepal, and what does this mean for India and Nepal ties as there is friction in another country in the neighborhood? Let me now go across to our guests. We're joined by Sanjay Bhardwaj, Professor, Center for South Asian Studies, School of International Studies at JNU. Sanjay Bhardwaj, what has triggered this public anger? It's not possible for such a large number of people to come together, and clearly it's not just about a social media ban now.
I think the immediate cause you can find out that while the social media these platforms have been banned, and the people had come out because this was the only means to show their frustration to the people, and there were a lot of things were circulating about the Nipo kids and all that kinds of things, and then there were allegations against the politicians and the government regarding the buying of the planes and all that. But I think we're going to need to have a retrospective analysis of these all developments. The Nepali society has been highly mobilized, or you can say highly politicized over last 3 decades. And you can see, and this politicization has also polarized the people, in fact, along the party lines, along the ideologies. You can see that after 1989, when there were movement against the monarch to reinstate and restore democracy, democracy was reinstated in 1990 after a constitution, but it could not work. And finally, 1996, that Maoist has adopted violent movement against the government and against the monarch. And this had happened for the next 10 years. But in 2006, there was another big movement like this against the monarch, and that the king has to leave the palace. And then after that, that Nepal has become a republic, and you can say that one caretaker interim constitutional assembly was formed, but it could not come out in the consensus to form a government. The second time constitutional assembly was formed, and in 2015 there was a constitution. And after this constitution, you can see that in there are political instability in Nepal. So in 17 years, you can see around 13 governments have changed, 6 prime ministers have changed, and same people are rotating. So it has been found that the politics in Nepal is Kathmandu-centric and basically rotating in few influential families and people there, enjoying the power. And they could not, there were a lot of expectations to the civil society and the people. Once the democracy will be instated after the monarch, they will have good employment, they will have good health, education, and all that. But finally, they have found that these politicians are sending their kids to the abroad. They're enjoying all the luxuries, and the Nepalis, they are forced to leave and migrate to other countries. There are data that
So there is a lot
every
of anger.
day, yes,
There's a lot of anger over
every day,
corruption,
yes.
unemployment, lack of opportunities, inequality. Let me also get in Lieutenant General Rakesh Sharma at this point. Lieutenant General Sharma, could there be any political force behind this massive protest, this massive public anger that we've seen, especially in the younger generation? Could there be an outside force?
Thank you for inviting me. And at the outside, I must say that at this juncture, it doesn't look that there's an outside force. As has been rightly pointed out, there has been a youth problem for a very long time. As we said, there are about 7 to 9 lakh children are leaving every year from Nepal, not coming to India, but going all over the world for taking up a job and employment. There is no employment avenues. Of a basic issue among the youth anger is that there is an economic insecurity. There is no jobs available. There is hyperinflation across there. So there are very big problems here. And then second, of course, the major issue is that there is no stable government. The governments keep changing. In this present case only, same Nepali Congress was supporting earlier Prachanda, and then they withdrew from Prachanda and started supporting Oli. There is no rationality in how the governments are being changed across in Nepal. So there is a political upheaval there. People are unhappy about the constitution, and they want the constitution to be amended. And of course, there is institutionalized corruption. The foreign minister, which is wife of Shehbaz Dioba, has been accused earlier of serious corruption issues there. So the fact of the matter is that there is something pent up in Nepal for quite some time, and it had to come out in the form of youth. Youth cannot be handled the way the youth have been handled in the course of last 5 to 6 days.
Right.
The Supreme Court.
Lieutenant General Sharma, what I'd also like to ask you, so currently the president, the army chief, they've appealed for calm. Who is practically in control of things at the moment in Nepal?
So, at any one, Nepal has got 77 districts. It's a very vast area, and only Kathmandu is not Nepal. But then, there are protests all over the country. There is a Balen Shah, people call him Balendra, but Balen is what everybody calls him in Kathmandu. He has turned around Kathmandu city quite a bit in the course of last 2-3 years that he has been the mayor of the metropolitan area. And, he has earned tremendous amount of respect in Nepal as a man to be watched out in future. And he is young. So the fact is that Balen is a fellow to a gentleman to be looked forward to earlier. It's been stated in hushed tongues that Balen will be the future of Nepal. So, one is that there is a control, or there is a mayor of Kathmandu city, larger Kathmandu city, who is in control and people respect him. Nobody went across to his house to burn, but they've gone to Supreme Court judges and everybody else. One is Balen Shah. Second is the Nepal Army. It's a very respected institution. It is liked as an institution. So Nepal Army did not open fire. It's the police who did that. So Nepal Army is under respect, and the statement given by the chief Sanjay, along with the other security fellows, is all saying, have calm, we will sort it out. And third is the issue of the president. The president still holds it. But, how will the issues be handled hereafter? Will they, first is, will they, get the assembly off? People don't want this parliament to continue, because this parliament has made mockery of the whole political process in Nepal. So they'll have to, they want this thing to go away. So that's a very big issue here.
Correct.
And second is to have an interim government. And I think if the interim government, my guesswork is, if the army props up Balen Shah to come and take over as the prime minister, the interim government head or something, or caretaker, he will get much more respect than the present politicians have been getting across.
Very important point. Let me go across to Sanjay Bhardwaj once again. Mr. Bhardwaj, now, what do you think can be a healing balm for the people of Nepal? What can normalize the situation, according to you?
I think let me also answer the first questions about the external powers. I do find that yes, extra-regional powers have been very active in Nepal for last a decade and more. You can see that the way the KP Oli was trying to incline himself towards the China, and the Chinese embassy has worked sometimes like a political party in Kathmandu, and this KP Oli was also very active in Shanghai Cooperation Organization. So I think that did not made comfortable to many of the Nepali people there. And even the extra-regional powers, again, I would say the Americans, and they were not liking, because Nepal is very important, keeping Tibet, bordering with Tibet, and that Americans, they have very deep interest in Tibet and all that. So I think there are something, these factors also work that, and you must remember that there is one political party, that RSP, Rashtriya Swatantra Party, that Lamichana. Ravi Lamachana is basically, he was US citizen, and he came here and contested elections, very popular in the youth. This man, you can somehow find behind these kinds of activities in Nepal. So you cannot totally rule out about the external involvement.
Very briefly, I'm running out of time. I want to put one quick question to both of you. One, starting with you, Mr. Bhardwaj, what are the implications for India? We've seen disturbances in Bangladesh. Now we are seeing massive disturbance in Nepal. What is the immediate ramification for India because of the situation in Nepal?
Yeah, always work to bring political stability in the neighboring countries, including Nepal. And we were the promoter of the democracy. But since the different political constituents has gone beyond India, and that this has created a lot of problems. I'm sure that they will work with India, and India will definitely take care of these political stability, economic development, and security of these states. And I think we will prosper together. And I think these states like Sri Lanka got the lesson. Bangladesh will get the lesson, and now Nepal is in the queue, and they will understand that India is very responsible regional partner, and they should work with India. That would be better for the betterment of these peoples, including Nepalis. And youth will.
Lieutenant General Sharma, your thoughts on how India could be impacted, India-Nepal relations could be impacted?
So I, think that we should have come up in support of democracy and in support of the peoples of Nepal as a statement, as the issue started 3-4 days ago. I think a statement came a wee bit too late. But then, India has always been accused of interference and of being condescending and not supported. So there is not that the people of Nepal are against us, but then the people of Nepal do feel that India does tend to interfere. So we have to now follow a very fine line. It's not a very simple proposition for India to do so. The peoples are the open borders, people come and go. There is a great amount of relationship we have in cultural and many other ways. But the Chinese have made tremendous amount of inroads into Nepal, specifically because they have deep pockets, and they have invested largely into the people, the political parties, especially in Oli's case, and initially in the case of Prachanda also. So the fact is that our involvement, that's why Nepal is said to be a yam between two boulders. So I'll end here by saying that while we have to exercise caution, we have to watch and wait and, not get over interfering into at this juncture. It will boomerang against us, as Indians are the ones who brought about this kind of problem that's happening to the political parties, because they say that we were not fond of Prime Minister Oli earlier.
Right. Thank you so much, Lieutenant General Rakesh Sharma and Sanjay Bhardwaj, for joining us. We're taking a break here on Global Lens. Coming up, France has been thrown into